Oh, hello YouTube. Today on the Naughty Librarian, I am doing my end of August wrap up. Also, side note, there is the loudest cricket in the world somewhere in my house. I don't know if you guys can hear it in the video. We'll find out together when I'm editing this, but it's like the loudest cricket. Anyway, so the second half of August, it didn't go as well as I was hoping for it to go. There you go. I said it. I said what I said. Basically, I was just in such a reading slump. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, you might already know, like, I sprained the shit out of my ankle. Like, it's really bad. I don't do things half measures, apparently. Like, if I'm gonna sprain my ankle, I sprained the shit out of it. Like, I'm still on crutches. My whole foot is purple. And I mean my whole foot, like, my toes are bruised. And I didn't even hurt my toes, but the whole foot is purple. It's like a long thing. I'm not even gonna show you. It's gross. But anyway, I sprained the shit out of my ankle. So I haven't been, like, in the best, like, mental state. But I don't know about you guys, but at least for me, when I'm injured or I'm sick or something, everyone's like, "Oh, it's a perfect time to read." And I'm like, no. I don't want to read at all when I'm injured or sick or something. I'm just like, I just want to zone out on TV. Like, that is what I want. That is my jam. And it's been hard trying to get into books. Especially because I haven't really read anything that was fantastic either. So I've just been struggling. But anyway, in the second half of August, I read 4 additional books, and I liked one of them. Not to say I hated the other ones, but, like, objectively speaking, I feel like one is objectively good, and then the other ones are like, I guess are good. That kind of thing. But yeah, let's just get into it. Let's do some reviews. First category is historical romance, and I read 2 of them. First things first, I read Mr. Impossible by Loretta Chase. This was kind of a buddy read, and I did this with the lovely ladies over at Romance at a Glance podcast. So if you're into smutty delights and also podcasts, I recommend checking them out. I might be appearing on an episode about this book. I think it comes out on September 15th. I'm not 100% sure. I'll put the date in the video. But yeah, I'll be on the podcast that day talking about this book, so come listen. But anyway, Mr. Impossible, let's chat. So this is kind of supposed to be Sexy the Mummy 1999. And I don't know about you guys, but at least me, as a young teen girl, well, I wasn't quite a teen yet. I was a tween, maybe, in 1999. But, oh boy, Brendan Fraser, that movie, chef's kiss. Am I right? I'm right. No one's not attracted to him in that movie. And, you know, here's the thing. Is it Sexy the Mummy? Kind of. Are there mummies and, like, studious women, rascally brothers who are kind of inept but actually really sweet, and you know, a dashing adventurer guy? Like, it has a lot of the same things the Mummy 1999 has. It doesn't have actual, like, I'm alive mummy gonna eat your soul. It's like, you know, just regular old real life mummies. And that's all great and everything, but there are some problems here, but we'll get into that. So this is Rupert and Daphne. Daphne, like I said, studious woman. She's like, hey, Rupert is this, you know, adventurous, like, Duke's third son. So you're like, you know, he's off doing his thing. And a bit of a rascal, but, like, with a heart of gold. And she's like, okay, listen, you're gonna help me get my brother. He got kidnapped because they think he can read hieroglyphics, but really he can't. It's me. He's been, like, using his name so I could do all the studying because he's cool, but, like, he doesn't know nothing about nothing, and they kidnapped him, and they're trying to get a treasure map, and he's gonna get killed, so they have to go find the brother. and that's the romantic concept here, and of course along the way they fall in love and then have some smutty delights. But there are some glaring issues in the book. One being, the brother has no part in the book. Like, there's little brief instances where they switch perspective to the brother's perspective, and it's like, why? It kind of, like, you know, kills all the tension in the book because I know the brother's fine and what he's up to. So it's kind of not necessary to go there. And also, they do nothing to build his character. Like, he doesn't have anything about him that I'm like, wow, I really, really like this guy. Not that I hate him. He's just so milquetoast that I have no opinion about him. And also, like, I'm gonna be real with you guys. There's a lot of times in this book where it really gets borderline white savior bullshit. Where, you know, I feel like a lot of the native people, it takes place in Cairo, and a lot of the native people there are kind of written in a way that they're almost caricatures, and then you have this, like, dashing white guy coming in to save them, and I'm like, ugh, that doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel good. So, you know, I don't think it was done maliciously, but it's kind of like, not a good look. But, you know, I mean, if you're just reading this for smutty stuff, like, it has a fair amount of smut. It has I really, really like Rupert, actually. Even though I mentioned the white savior thing, it's not his fault he was written that way, but he's actually, like, a really, really great romantic lead. No ego whatsoever. He just, like, exudes big dick energy all the time. And I'm like, all right, I like it. It's fine, I guess, you know. I think it's about average, so I gave it like three stars. It's average. It did what it was trying to do. But yeah, it does have some flaws. I also read My American Duchess by Eloisa James. This one I kind of have a similar opinion on, you know, like, it did what it set out to do, but it has some flaws. This is Mary and Trent, the Duke of Trent, so to speak. And Mary, she's an American. She has been in 2 other engagements before and broke them both off. And so everyone's like, you gotta stop dumping fiancés, lady. So she's over in England now, being paraded about the town because she's got a lot of money. She's an heiress. And she's like, okay, next engagement, I'm sticking with it. I got this, I'm gonna do it. And then she's engaged to this guy who's kind of just like peak fuckboy energy, and you're like, I don't know about him. And then his twin brother shows up, the Duke of Trent, and you're like, oh, well, these 2 are getting together, and they do. So, like the kind of the cheating aspect is here, and you're like, oh, I don't know, I don't want to root for that. Especially because they're twin brothers, and it's like, ew. Stop dating family members. Like, I don't know. Anyway, like, in the end, like, do you want, like, Trent and Mary together? Yes, you do, because they're kind of great together. But, like, there's a lot of problematic elements in here. I can't get into all of it because some of it is a bit spoilery, but Mary is kind of very gullible, to the point where it's like, it's actually part of the plot how gullible she is at points. She just believes everything someone tells her. Like, someone, like, lied and said Trent said mean things about her, and she just immediately believes this person, even though this person is the bad guy. She just believes them. I'm like, you just realize this person with the bad guy, you know this person's the bad guy, but you just believe everything they say. Like, girl, like, life is harder than that. But is it smutty? Is it kind of a cute romance besides the issues? Yeah, like, I thought it was pretty fun. I kind of relate to Mary as a human. She's very extra, you know? And, like, I also feel like I am too much a lot of the time. I just am. But you know what? If I'm too much, you can go find less, you know? Like, it's not my problem that I'm too much for you. And Mary is just the same way. So, like, I feel like kinship there. And then Trent is a bit more reserved, but actually secretly really likes how extra Mary is. And I'm like, he's a lot kind of like my boyfriend. So I'm like, I don't know. It was maybe just for me. It was hitting a little close to home. And, yeah, I don't know. It's fine. It's not bad. It's just like, there's some issues here that should be addressed. But yeah, it's like 3 stars. It's average. Next category is fantasy, and I read 2 of those. I read The Unbroken by C.L. Clarke, and I'm not going to get into like a big description here because there is a whole video discussion for this because this was the book of the month for the Blades and Bodice Rippers book club. I'll link that video down below. It's over on Bethany's channel, and we all read this one. Kind of to mixed reviews from us. I happen to really, really like it. I gave it 4 stars. I had to take 1 star off because there were some pacing issues, there were some character issues, there were some, like, world-building issues, but this is a debut author, so, like, part of it you can be expected because, you know, this is their first book, and not everyone, you know, knocks it out of the park the first try, but I'm definitely thinking this is a 3-base run. It was pretty good. This one is, like, it's hard to explain. I call it more of an off-the-page book. It's very much metaphorical. Like, there's these two characters, Terrain and Luca, you're following. Basically, Luca's people are colonizers. And they colonized this people, and Terrain was one of the children they stole and turned into a soldier for them. So she's like a child soldier grown up. And Luca's the princess, and they are now in each other's lives, and it's very messy and complicated, and these characters are super messy and super complicated, and when you think about their life around them and how they were raised and their thought process for things, how the world sees them, how they see the world, their messy, sloppy, horrible decisions make a lot of sense, actually, but it doesn't make it easier to read. We just see characters do the dumbest shit all the time. You're just like, girl, why? Even though it makes sense for the character to do dumb shit, but like, you know, after a while, you're just like, you gotta be smarter. You just have to. But like I was saying earlier, it's an off-the-page book. It's a bit more of a metaphor. I feel like these characters are very metaphorical. I think this book is really just trying to explore cultural identity in a post-colonial world and how that affects the people being colonized. And also she threw in a bunch of magic that kind of wasn't well described, honestly, but it's there. So there's that. But yeah, so if you think about it from that perspective and how she's trying to explore the concept, I do think it's very interesting, and I liked a lot of the characters. It makes sense why they would do the things they do, even if you don't like the things they're doing, but I can see how that's frustrating for some people. So I don't know, I recommend giving it a whirl. I really liked it, but it's kind of, it seems to be a bit polarizing. Like, people either like the metaphorical nature of this or they can't get into it. So I don't know. Give it a try and see what you think. I liked it. I gave it 4 stars. Last up, I tried to read Incendiary by Zoraida Cordova, and honestly, I failed. I DNF'd. So I'm like 60% of the way through the book or so, and I can't make myself read any more of it. And here's the thing, like, I was like, is it me? Like, am I just in such a reading slump and I don't want to read and I'm taking it out on the book? Or is the book bad? Like, I couldn't tell for a long time. And I was like, I felt bad about myself. I'm like, no, this book is good. This book is good. You like this book. Why are you like this? So yeah, I was having like a crisis of conscience while trying to read this book. But I've decided in the end that I think it might be a little bit of a combo of both. Like, maybe, yes, this book does have some problems, but if I wasn't in a reading slump mood, I might have been able to get through it. But since I was in a reading slump mood, like, I just couldn't handle the problems, that kind of thing. Who knows, maybe I will finish it someday, but like, okay, here's the deal. The first chapter of this book is incredible. You're like, holy shit, this is gonna be great. Oh my gosh. This is kind of a fantasy world based on the Spanish Inquisition, and people have magical powers, and there's like the evil, like, religious government trying to kill them, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be great. I love it. And then in practice, you get bored. Our main character, Renata, she is a young woman, part of the rebels, of the people who have power, and she has a very complicated past I won't get into because why bother, but I think it's just Renata herself that might be the problem. Just her as a narrator, she's very self-centered, I guess. She's constantly just going, oh, woe is me, this is sad, look at all that. And I'm like, yeah, shit's sad, homie, like, have other thoughts. I think it was just like, it kind of got repetitive, it kind of had like weird pacing issues, and they're not that bad, honestly. The issues are not terrible issues. It's just, I was not in the place to put up with it. So I don't know, I think if I was in a better mindset and I finished the book, it probably would have got 3.5 stars. But I didn't finish the book. I was thinking about just skimming the rest of it so I could do a whole review, but like, even the thought of skimming it doesn't hold an appeal. So yeah, I gave up. There you go. You know what? Sometimes it's okay to fail, and I did. But there you go. I don't know. I wanted to like it. I kind of did, but then I kind of didn't. Okay, so that was it. Those are the 4 books I read in the second half of August. Like I said, I was really in a reading slump. I was just not putting effort into reading things. I was doing other stuff too. I was injured. I had my ankle sprain. I was also doing my sommelier certification, which I took the test on. I will find out my results soon, but I'm pretty sure I nailed the test. So hello, I am a certified sommelier. Look at me. Let me know in the comments down below. Are you in a reading slump? Because I am a little bit. I'm hoping September's better. Hey, do you guys want me to do videos about wine, since I will be certified to talk about it? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, make sure you give it a like. And if you want to see more videos, make sure you subscribe. And I'll see you guys soon.